morning everybody. Today we're here at a very special time because we are going to review the Tata Hexa. But instead of one, I have three. So the cars I have with me are the top model 4x2, top model 4x4 and the top model automatic 4x2. Let's see how these cars are. So the first car over here is the top of the line XT 4x2. Mechanically they're pretty much the same, but except this car does not have the 4x4 mechanicals. It's just meant for the urban runaround and the highway cruising. Underpinnings are pretty much the same. They all have the 2.2 Varicor engine. It produces 400 Newton meters of torque and 152 bhp. Couple this with the 2700 roughly odd weight. It varies from different variants depending on gearbox weight and hardware weight, but practically they're all the same. So let's see how they do. Right now I'm standing in front of the manual 4x4 variant. It looks basically the same, but there's a small badge that says 4x4, and I think that badge plays the key role to let you know that your car can do all the rough stuff as well. Because let me tell you that even though this is practically a crossover of the sort, it's not a full-blooded SUV, but the off-road technology and the hardware make sure that this car can clear all the obstacles with ease. This is the third car I have with me. This is the top of the line XTA. Essentially, mechanically they're the same, but the only difference is that the rest have a 6-speed manual. This has a 6-speed automatic. Let's see how they are.
We decided to head off-road. I mean, after all, they are SUVs or crossovers as you would call. And we did have a 4x4 model between us. So we always thought, it was better to test it out if it actually works. So we headed to some slush, to some sand, to some bumpy sections. And the XTA volunteered to go first. As you can see, it has its fair share of wheel spins and all that, but as the sheer determination and grit of the driver helped pull the car out on its own. And although it did make it, we did feel the need of the 4x4. Next up was the 4x4 himself, and let me tell you that it did all this so gracefully and so elegantly. It didn't even break a sweat. In fact, we thought maybe it was too easy for it. Just look at it. No wheel spin, and just pulled through the obstacle without even thinking twice. Just elegant and ease. By far our pick for the choice in this group in such conditions. The third was the XT 4x2. Now the driver knew the ideal route, so he could choose the best path. But credit where it's due, the car did not get stuck. Yes, it did lose traction at places. You can see in the video the car is losing traction. You can see the rear wheels spinning. But as I said, the momentum and determination helped pull the car through without any such issues and helped it complete the obstacle.
Now as the obstacles got more tricky, the XTA did get slightly stuck in the slush, and it got so badly stuck that it couldn't pull itself out and it needed us to push it out. But even after that, it managed to pull itself out. The XT 4x4 just glided through this. It used the same line as the XTA, but it did not get stuck even once. The XT 4x4 just made it through. Even though he used a different line, he made it through seamlessly. Let's see how these cars are on the road.
Right now I'm in the XT 4x4. Interior, everything's just like the XT 4x2, except that the rough road in this, the buttons, actually help distribute the power in the most efficient way. This car is about 20.5 lakhs on road, depending on state registration, but practically it's the same like normal Hexa. So let's see how the 4x4 is. The clutch is a little on the heavier side, and the gearbox is a little notchy. It's a little that's a little of the downside, but low end torque is really good because this car weighs a lot. This car is upwards of 2800 kilograms, so you would expect that performance would not be brisk, but it's pretty strong on this regard, you know. I mean, either you floor it or you just cruise around. So right now I'm in auto mode. So yeah, this off-road hardware has auto mode where it's going to detect the surface, it's going to detect wheel slip, and then it's going to distribute the power according to that. I think it's a pretty cool system. I'm in auto mode, so the car right now is just cruising on normally. It's not an issue. Yeah, see the gearbox is a little notchy, and I have to take a really tight turn right now, and I don't know if it's going to make it in one go. Okay, just did. That's pretty good. A car big of such a size just took a tight turn very easily. The turning radius is really good on this. Rest is just like a normal Hexa, same Harman Kardon music system 10 speaker. It sounds fabulous. I like the way it looks. The only downside I have with it is that the screen is a bit too small. I think it should be a little bigger because, you know, it's a big car and it has lots of features. It has no shortage on features, but the screen size does not motivate the user to, you know, use it much. Yeah, the gearbox, the throw is very long. The throw should have been shorter. I mean, if you look at all the rivals like the XUV and all, yeah, they have long throw gearboxes as well, but that's not an excuse for having a long throw gearbox in your car. The riding position is sublime. I am sitting so high up. I can see the whole bonnet in front of me. I have the whole view, and you'd be surprised that the seating position is as high as you would find in like a Fortuner or anything, because I was beside a Fortuner on a traffic signal and we were both having the same level of eye contact. Now that's really important in a market like India, because this market is a market that demands a car to have a very imposing look, and this car definitely has that on its side. It's just so imposing, you know. You can just get side on the highway so easily, especially at night. You know, you can just flash your headlight once and people just make way for it. One downside I'd like to say about the interior is that the cubby holes are a little less. I mean, there's a really small pocket here. My phone barely fits in it. There's no other pockets. The door pockets are pretty big, and there's a dual glove box. It opens both upwards and downwards. There's both, but there should have been small cup holders for the knickknacks, so you can store your coins, toll slips, etc. We did take the 4x4 off-road, and it just took all the obstacles with absolute aplomb. I kid you not, it didn't even get stuck. We had the XTA and it got stuck pretty badly. You'll see that in the video. Partially because that was being the lead car, so you know the lead car always has to suffer. But it got stuck, and this took the same tracks as the XTA. It didn't get stuck at all. That's where the 4x4 counts, and I think it's a really useful thing. One mistake I feel that Tata should have done is launch the XTA 4x4, automatic 4x4. I think that's a killer combination, because this gearbox does rob you of the driving thrill. I mean, I know you're probably thinking that such an MUV is not for driving thrill, but it's always a bonus. And this car, I'm telling you, you throw it around a corner, you do feel the weight, but it actually sticks really nicely to the line, and the steering has excellent feedback. These are words, terms that you don't use with a people mover, but yes, I'm using it. This car is actually fun to drive. You would be really surprised at how agile this car is. I mean, you know, I took corners today at like speeds I don't want to mention, you know, honestly, but it just does the job so perfectly well. It does the job so perfectly well. I'm just navigating through obstacles. Such a piece of cake. Such a piece of cake. Honestly, let's just try to floor it a bit. I'm in second gear. second gear. The engine is a little loud. The engine is refined, but it's a little loud at higher revs. That should have been well controlled. Rest, I don't know. I'm in love. Everything, it feels very practical. Everything feels very solid built. What else do you want for the price? Because the car it competes with, the Innova Krista, is a good 3 lakhs more. And it doesn't have all-wheel drive. Yeah, people say it's a Toyota, you know, it's reliable, it's easy to live with, it has good resale. But this car just came to market. How do you know about resale value? You can't judge a car. And by ride quality and comfort, I think this trumps the Innova, even though this has 19-inch rims compared to the now 16-inch rims on the Innova Krista. Still, overall, absolutely love this car. It has its small flaws. The infotainment screen is small. The engine is a little loud. There's no cup holders, and it has the Tata, you know, brand image. Rest, I think it's a fine car, and you really have to give it to Tata for making such a fine car. And did I mention about the brakes? These brakes just stop the beast so easily. They stop the beast so easily. Whatever mad speeds you're doing, you know, any obstacle that comes your way just stops them well. You have to give credit where it's due. Beautiful brakes. Dynamically, this car is so sorted. You'd be surprised if this car has a T badge in front. You'd probably expect something else. Really, out of this world. I'm smitten. I'm actually smitten. I'm actually smitten. I didn't think I would like the manual as much. It is good, but I guess I'd prefer the automatic because it has the ease which with you can drive the car. You don't have to manage the little heavy clutch. Though the release is really positive, but initial bite it's a little heavy. It might be difficult for female drivers. The automatic is a boon, and plus the automatic has race car mode. Tough to beat that little gimmick. Let's head over to the automatic. So I am in the XTA now, which is the top of the line XT, but the A denotes the automatic. This is a 6-speed automatic. It's the same gearbox that Chevrolet uses in their cars. It's an Eisen box if I'm not wrong, and it has something called race car mode. Now, as interesting as it sounds, it is actually an interesting gimmick that this car has. Let's check it out. Now, this car is 18 lakhs on road. I think 19 lakhs on road now with all the cess and all the GST and everything. And I think that's really good value because this car goes up against the Innova Krista and the XUV automatic. They both have automatic variants respectively, and the Innova Krista GX80 is really bare bones. It doesn't even have auto AC, doesn't have a stereo, doesn't have fog lights. It's really sparsely equipped. The ZX80 is fully equipped, but the car is 24 lakhs on road, which is a lot of money for a car. Why this car trumps over the others is because it's cheap and it's got everything what those cars have. It's got a fabulous gearbox which does not hesitate to downshift. It does not hesitate to upshift. It's beautiful. It's got a manual mode as well where you can take matters into your own hands. It doesn't have paddle shifts, but I mean, of course, you don't expect it in this segment. Overall, yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful engine gearbox, and I really prefer the automatic to the manual because A, you don't have to deal with the long clutch. You don't have to deal with the long throws every time. You know, you're just fooling around with the gearbox. The automatic, you just put into D and just cruise. The gearbox shifts like this. It's not like the Innova's one. The Innova's one is really lazy unit. It's a really lazy unit. It hesitates to upshift. It hesitates to downshift. I mean, it's a shame actually why the gearbox exists. And especially if you drive this and then that, it's a huge difference. I mean, I'm just cruising 40, I put the foot down, downshifts, and you're off. I mean, we had a drag race just for kicks between the XT 4x2 because it's lighter than the 4x4 and the XTA, and because it's an automatic, it's difficult to launch it, but once you're on the go, it catches up and it breezes past the XT 4x2. It's just down to the gearbox, you know, you're busy doing that, you're busy shifting, and this, you just put your foot down and you're off. The gearbox is really smart, it does upshift the bang on the right time, so you're always in the peak power band, you're always making good progress. I think this is probably one of the best engine and gearbox combos under, maybe you can say, 25-30 lakhs. It's that good. It's really that good. And not to forget, it's a torque converter. It's, after all, it's just a torque converter. So how is it so good? Nobody knows. It's a fine piece of engineering. Now, the XT manual 4x2 and the XT manual 4x4 are practically the same. They both have the same gearbox. It's just that the 4x4 hardware is different in the 4x4, obviously. But rest, it's just the same. The automatic is just so easy, you know, you don't feel like you're driving such a big car. In traffic, it's so easy, and I mean, you'd be really surprised at how easy this big car is to drive. I mean, no, this window pane is perfect. You can rest your arm. They have the armrest. The armrest is slightly flawed design, is what I'd say, because like I have my seat a little forward, but if I put it a little back, the design is really flawed because there's a cut here for the handbrake where your driver would generally put their arm. It's ideal for the passenger, but it's not good for the driver. I mean, okay, you know what? Let's have some fun. I'm in D right now, and just waiting for the road to clear up. The horn is also pretty good. Here I'm going to put into S. Oh, the gearbox downshifts at will. Oh wow. Just making good progress. Wow. Does not feel that this car weighs almost 3 tons. Not even kidding. And it does not feel like a Tata. You know, that's most important. It does not feel like a Tata. Oh my god. Overall, I'm in love. I am in love. Let's try the race car mode. So I'm in D. I put it to S, Sport, and let's floor it. Let's floor it. Okay, yes, the race car mode is activated. I'm pulling forward. And the best part, I let go. I let go. Oh, it rev matches. Oh, beautiful, it rev matches. Talk about a gearbox, it rev matches. Beautiful. Look at that, I'm making so good progress. It's just amazing how this car makes so much. Oh, look at that, it's rev matching on a car that costs 20 lakhs, and on a Tata, the gearbox is rev matching. Oh my god, it is just amazing. Whew. Too good. Look at that, I'm making super progress. Making super progress. Oh, it just sticks. It just sticks.
The XTA and the XT 4x4 are the captain seat 6-seater versions, which are really comfortable. They have great back support and they have great cushioning. It really gives you a feel of what it feels to travel in business class of any flight. It's really that good. The XT 4x2 on the other hand was the 7-seater version, which has the bench seat in the middle. And again, it's not bad. I mean, you don't get that feeling of, you know, being cocooned or being suppressed by comfort, but it's more utilitarian, but it still is really comfortable, and for a large family it's the much more practical option out here. So let's sum up the 3 other cars here. The XTA is the all-rounder. In the city drives, it's really the best thing you can have. On highway drives, it cruises in 6th gear all day long, and it is really easy for the driver to cover really good distances in short time. The XT 4x4 is for the person who's really interested to get his hands dirty, because this car can handle a lot of abuse in tricky situations such as slush, mud, water, etc. The XT 4x2 is the one to have for the person who likes to carry a big family around the city or on paved roads. I mean, it's not like it won't do the rough stuff. Even the XTA will do the rough stuff, but better keep it to minimum. And if you keep it within its limits, the XTA and the XT 4x2 will also achieve much more than what is expected from such cars. And the XT 4x2 is just for the family who wants to cruise around the city, urban situations, and paved highways. Exactly. Tata has launched a variant for each and every person's needs, and I think that's a very wise decision. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.